I can finally prove that my mailman hates me. I mean, why else would you leave a package outside right after it rained with no plastic bags, no covering, no nothing? I mean, you just leave the package there and hope for the best. I don't know if he hates me or not, but one day I'm gonna grab him and we're gonna find out. But I'm waiting on another package to come in before I get this guy opened up. But what I want to talk about is the brand new NFTs and how they are here to stay and what they could possibly do to this community in the long run. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Why is there carpet on the wall? I mean, the next NFT sets that we are going to see is going to be Big Boy. And Big Boy's been hugely popular with Funko for a really long time. Where is my Big Boy at? He's here somewhere. Somewhere I got a Big Boy. There he is. Let's go take a closer look at this guy. And hey, look, check this out. These new Big Boy NFTs that are coming out are pretty cool looking. Look, NFTs in general are pretty cool looking. And before you even like get your fingers going and you're typing your Nastygram, before you even heard the conversation, maybe you should try and listen to the conversation that I'm going to talk about for a minute before you start using your fingers, right? There's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? You should be listening twice as much as you talk. This is one of those moments where you should at least listen to what I got to say before you start making an opinion, right? Lend me an opinion before you make one. This is what I'm going to say about these NFTs and these new Big Boys and how they're here to stay. We know that they're here to stay because they just dropped one just a week ago, and now they're going to drop some more at the end of this month, right? They're sparing no time in making the money off of these guys. And this is what I mean by this could be the end of the Funko collections as we know it if we're not careful, right? And if Funko's not careful, but Funko is a capital hungry company, right? I mean, so they don't care if you have a big collection or if you get it in your collection or if you don't, right? As long as they make their money on the back end is what they're concerned about. And this has just changed the game. And let me explain it. Let me explain this. So they sold, I want to say it was 30,000 packs, right, altogether. They sold 10,000 of them at $29, right? So let's do the math. They sold 10,000 of them at $29. We're going to round it up to 30, right? So at 10,000, they sold 10,000 of them at $30, and so that's the first packs, right? So I'm not going to count the actual like how many were in the pack. I'm just simply going to count the packs. So that was the first set that they did. Now off of this pack they made $300,000. Now I want you just to let that sink in for a minute, right? So and then we go 20,000 off of with $10 a piece, right? Now off of these they made 200,000. Now if we take this amount right here and then divide it, right? So we're going to do all the fancy math at this moment and we're going to do all the dividing and all of that. We are going to come to $93 a pop. That is what Funko is making off of the pops that they are selling at this moment, is $93 a pop is what they're making off of the NFTs. Never before has Funko been able to sell their pops at such a high rate, right? So this is an all new thing for them. So now we got to look at the overhead, right? The overhead in making these NFTs has to be really low compared to an actual event. So if I compare this to an actual event, right, that Funko has going on, suddenly Funko's spending a lot to put on a physical event and they're spending very little to put on these events. When I mean very little, they probably have a crew of 4 or 5 people tops, right? I mean, maybe 10 if we're getting greedy, but I doubt it severely. I mean, I doubt severely that there's more than 5 or 6 people who are putting together their NFTs. I don't know if you've ever seen this Big Boy, but this Big Boy is actually really cool. So they're calling him an ad icon. He's 24. This is one of them that had been around for a really long time. This was 2018. It's got the little sticker on there. I can't really remember what this one come from, but this is not the most expensive Big Boy. This is kind of the lower end when it comes to the Big Boys. Back to the NFTs real quick though. So they made $93 a piece off of these guys, and we know that putting on these events is a lot cheaper than putting on a physical event. The difference has to just be insane. Now in the physical event they're only charging $15 a pop. on the NFTs, technically they're charging you $93 to possibly get a pop. Is technically, right? If we went right down to the very end, that is technically what they are charging you. So here's my question to you, if you haven't already typed out a nasty comment, because I'm sure that your fingers have been working on this 4-paragraph like the essay you got to send me on how I'm dead wrong and how you're dead right. This isn't a right or wrong conversation. This is a simply listen to what I'm saying and how this is going to divide the community. And if we're not careful, how this is going to mess up our collecting in the Funko world. And if you want to give me your opinion, that's great. If it gets on some left string and how I'm crazy, I'm just gonna block you, man. That's just how I am at this point. I don't have time for you. I'm not gonna call you out. I'm not gonna get in a conversation. We're not gonna have none of that going on. I'm simply gonna block you. You're not worth my energy if you're just gonna come at me in a negative manner. Just throwing that out there so you already know. If we're not careful, Funko will not have any more need to do any more Funko exclusives. They won't have any more need to do any of these big fun cons, right? They won't have any need to do fun days. Even though they still might do fun days, they won't have any need to, because suddenly instead of making $15 a pop, you can make $93 a pop. Which one makes more logical sense to you? Right? I mean, which one would you logically say makes more sense? Would you say that selling a pop for $15 a pop when you probably have, I'm going to say $5 in the pop already, right? The boxing, the packaging, the labor it took to get all of this put together and then shipped to me, I'm going to just roughly say that there's $5 in this whole thing, so they made 10. Now that's also not counting what they have in the overhead for the event, what they're doing for the videos, all of the other behind the scenes stuff that's going on. I'm saying just this is costing them $5, so they made $10 off of it at the end of the day with nothing else involved. With the NFTs, they're $93. Take 5 away from that, they suddenly made, I want you to do the math with me real quick because you're going to start throwing those nasty grams. They made $88 a pop. Once again, that's not talking about the back stuff and what's going on and all of that. But if I could sell a pop for $88 or $93 and make 88, or if I could sell one for 15 and make 10, logically you have to say that that's what they're going to do, and they're going to continue this going. If we're not careful and we continue to get behind these in the way that we do, we're going to see the exclusives get fewer and fewer and fewer until there's really no big exclusives out there. The only way to get an exclusive is to go through the NFT lottery. Then that kind of changes the way that we all collect, right? That changes the way we look at them. That changes the way we think about them. That changes the game. Now, do I think that they'll do away with all exclusives forever? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the exclusives will become fewer and fewer and farther in between, and they will force you to get the NFT so that they can sell you an NFT at $93 versus $15. I'd love to hear what you got to think. Throw a comment down below. Like I said, look, there's no room here for negativity though. If you just want to have a conversation about it, I'm with you. If you want to tell me that I'm crazy and you want to get all nasty, just save your time for somebody else. Go to one of those other channels and drop the nasty stuff over there. Before we get out of here though, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and become part of the Wayneko crew. There is no Wayneko crew without you, and I truly, truly appreciate you watching. Until next time, have a good one.